is no room for any of us to believe that it's okay for some kids not to be successful. And when you look at the data, the kids that are not successful today are the kids that have never been successful in schools. And those are kids in extreme poverty, and those are kids of color who, for cultural reasons or societal reasons, have never had the advantages that other kids have when they come to school.
When they don't have food, clothes, lights, telephone, and it's really challenging. We have a lot of people here in that situation.
My mom and my dad, they really care about my education. They don't want me to drop out, and they really want me to get a good job so I can get a good house, a good car, and not have a bad life, a really good life.
Kids I see in a lower income background come in and they have so many more issues on the table that to worry about. A lot of times they don't know where they're going to get their next meal at. They know they have breakfast and lunches at school. And if they come to our after-school program, they get a snack, but sometimes snack might be the last meal of the day. So when you're hungry, you know, in the pyramid of what you need, you know, they got to take care of your food need before you can take care of your educational need. And if your tummy's grumbling, then you're not going to be able to learn as well.
Sometimes my children will feel that they feel inferior, or they feel they're different than the other kids.
The limited income for any child, even in my own children's instance, it's their self-esteem is very, very low. In the school and teachers and other students, it's very demeaning to some children, and it really makes them feel like my children feel not ashamed, but sometimes it embarrasses them if they don't quite have something that other kids have, or they're not able to do something that other kids can do.
What we hope to have happen is that your job as an employee of the school district is to always assume the best, and don't walk into that classroom and notice a child sitting over there who may be black, may be Latino. Don't automatically assume that this student is not a good learner. Don't make that connection between poverty and learning.
And as far as academics go, I wouldn't say there's anything that would make them any different from any other person, any social background. I know a smart kid when I see one, and I see plenty of them every day.
You have to come into the situation with an open mind and see their child as a child, not what they have on. And when you work with them, they might be slower than the rest of the class, but what we've done is we have to celebrate every step of the journey they make, even if it's the small step, or even if they make no progress, encouragement, and just helping them along.
I think that as a father, what I think, it doesn't matter if your child comes from a socioeconomic background, high or low, because it's very important for our kids to learn. And we have to keep motivating them and supporting them that they don't get behind on the grades.
The one thing that a teacher can do for children that don't come from affluent families are don't treat them any differently. Treat them the same. Listen to them, what their needs are. They'll tell you.
Can teachers really make a difference?
Absolutely. Every day with every child. The power that we have with children is astronomical. Kids can be lifted up with a word or crushed with a word. It only takes one.
You know, compassion is certainly at the heart of it, but it's broader than that. We want these children to be able to go out and be contributing members in the workforce to society. We know that if kids don't graduate, or they graduate with low reading skills, the end result is many of them are in prison. Large numbers of them are in prison. That has a huge impact on society. Kids leave us not being able to read and write, and and having huge social emotional issues, not knowing how to interact with other people, they're not going to be able to go out and hold down a job. And that may result in the worst case scenario of being in prison.
So we all had better care.
We better care.
Sometimes there's a temptation to give up on the kids who need you the most, to focus on the kids in the classroom who are easiest to deal with. But these children are just as valuable and just as precious as any others. And we can give the most to those who need it the most.
I know I'm going to be a lawyer for sure because I'm going to go to a good college, because I have people who care about me and people who will help me get into a nice college.
Like my mom, she said that in her country, she's from El Salvador, and she said that she had to walk about like 2 miles or so just to go to school, and then she lived in a poor place, and so she said like stay in school so you won't have to be like me.
Well, my grandma, she thinks a lot about me, and she thinks that this is a good thing that I do. She says that I am going to be a wonderful lawyer and that one day I might just be her lawyer.
There is no more urgent work that we have as a public education system than to break through the barriers of poverty, break through the barriers of societal disaffection, and to make sure that every child who experiences the work in our system understands that our expectations for them are very high, that we presume right from the very first day they enter our system that they can achieve at very high levels, and that our commitment to them is to do whatever we need to do to help them achieve.